Oh, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're doing IG Live tonight. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm trying the Wi-Fi. Hi, how are you? Hi, everybody. Hi, how are you? Yay, I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm wearing my products. You can't see them but underneath makeup, but I'm testament. I have lots of fun stuff. We're going to be talking to Robin tonight. She's going to be talking about new retail experiences and how we can all partner together as either stores, designers. I know, right? But good, right? Also, the Rose Hydrosol. Oh, here's Robin. We'll get her in right now. Okay, let's see if it works. What's up, Ashley? What's up? What's up, you guys? So good to see everybody. Happy Monday. Hello.
Woohoo!
How are you?
Okay? I'm good. I'm
Happy
good.
Monday.
Happy. It's left over. It's a COVID birthday. It continues on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm definitely. Oh, hello, Museum of Craft and Design. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, Cindy. Oh, you guys. Oh, so good to see
Oh,
you.
hey guys, this is so fun. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
how are you? I love your garland. You look so cute and festive with your garland in the back. I have to tell you because I snapped a picture and I put a little extra garland for you, and I was like,
Oh.
cute.
I wanted to show you too. I'm wearing this awesome piece. Check this out.
Oh
This
yeah,
bolo tie
bolo
was my
tie.
dad's, and it's just near and dear to my heart. So,
Where'd you get it from?
it was my father's.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a
So
jewelry wearer also.
he liked clothes and he loved jewelry. And he was also a very good gift giver, jewelry gift giver. So,
Oh, he was. Oh, that's
mhm.
a good dad to have.
Yes.
Because I have that dad also. That's how I got. That's how I got into jewelry. Really, we started really young,
That
collecting.
is so fun. That is, yeah, I have vivid memories of being dragged into galleries. And of course, I have become my parents now, right?
Absolutely.
I have to go to museums. I have to go to galleries. It's just in my blood,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Total. I think this is part of what makes life worth living. A lot
Yeah.
of times, everyone chooses. We didn't go to as many sports things. We went to more art things.
Yeah. Same. Well,
We
we
did
did.
sport things. You're from Texas, though. Sports is very important.
There is definitely some football and baseball going on for sure, but definitely the arts. Absolutely. I'm so happy to see you.
You too. I am drinking a humongous beer.
um, I have a little maybe tequila in here, maybe not. I don't know, but it looks like tea, so we'll just go with that. Cheers, my friend.
Very ladylike. I'm so excited to come to you and to kind of highlight some of the stuff you've been doing, how you've been doing during COVID. Oh, and just more people showed up at we're fine. My dude.
Aw.
He helps with the lighting, but we kind of just got back into the studio, so it's been a little bit of an experiment kind of setting this up.
Yeah, I'm loving the earrings. I'm loving the jewelry in the background. It's great.
We need
Um,
the big jewelry today.
yes. Can I add a suggestion?
Yeah.
You need to put your logo somewhere
Yeah.
so you can see it.
Actually I'm moving it. It's
Okay,
up.
good. Oh yes, it's way
Yeah,
too high.
I'm getting it painted gold. So
And then you need to flip it for Instagram Live, right?
yeah, I guess I'm gonna actually that's a great idea for flipping it. I can reverse it because it's actually reversible. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's getting and I have another one in light, but that one doesn't work because so I got the wooden and I'm painting it. Oh, I totally agree. Oh, I got a lot of suggestions. That's a great one. And I also have the mannequin.
Hey Liz. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Love
this is
that.
a little hard to see right here. But, this is what I usually work on, and this really helps. But I think having the showroom, I have such a small Brooklyn studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it really comes to it, it's really funny. It's really hard. But we're making the most of every little space, and fabricating, shipping, everything is still happening here. So
It's amazing. And I want to commend you for just like saying, okay, I'm going to make this work. What's going to, not only for yourself, but for others. And I really love that about you. You're always thinking about other people. And it's just, it's why I love you so much. I mean, many reasons, but I feel like we both have a passion for helping people, you know, beyond what we do. We want to make sure everybody succeeds and
that's really, we don't have enough of that. That's actually, okay, so this is a lot of what you do as your job right now. Yeah. So can you explain a little bit, because you've started a new consulting practice.
And well, kind of. 10 years. I'm celebrating 10 years. Woo!
Okay. Me too.
Oh my gosh. High five, girl.
Oh my God, totally, because I just made 10 years in New York, and I just also made 10 years of my business. All combined. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Big deal.
Oh, wow. Yeah, super big deal.
And we're still here. It's awesome. Yeah, you know, I love working. Hi, Chica.
He's 10 years too. You guys, that's a big accomplishment. 5 years was like the first big hurdle, I have to say, to get through in terms of like profitability and being more established. I really think that. And that was a true mark for me. And then now 10 years is another level of, we have another like peak to kind of ascend.
It's a crazy thing. I mean, it's something to be, I think every year you got to celebrate, right? But certainly those 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, I love it when I hear somebody's been in business for 30, 40 years. I talked to a store recently that's been in business for 39 years, another store that's been in business 42 years, and then a designer that's been in business 2 years. Like, it's all amazing. And we need to, you know, celebrate each other for that. And you know, I always call myself kind of the accidental entrepreneur because I love helping people and it comes naturally to me. So when I left dog-eared jewelry and started my consulting, the way I started it was that people kept coming up to me and asking for help. So when I said, well, when I go out on my own, will you be there? And I didn't have a website. I didn't have anything. And they said yes. And I had gigs right as, you know, the day I resigned, people were booking me, which was really awesome. And, you know, I just, and some of those places, you know, the designers have gone on to do even amazing. My first jewelry specific consulting gig was with Jill Pearson, who had Wasabi Jewelry, and she has Homage Pasadena, which is a fantastic store. If you guys don't know Homage, you gotta check it out.
From Serena Kojimoto, another artist. Oh yeah, a lovely artist too. This is such a testament to you, though, to have fostered all of these relationships, which is what you're really at the core about, I feel.
I love it. Yes. You know, it's really amazing because I feel like that's what business is. You know, if you don't have relationships, you don't have a business and you can't sustain yourself. And it's just, it really is everything to me. Connection and relationship is everything. And, you know, it's, and it's very funny because, you know, I become such good friends with the people I've met at trade shows, other vendors, other artists and store owners. And I can't tell you how many people I've gone to go visit and, you know, traveled with and just have had come visit me. I mean, it's beautiful. And my dad was a doctor, and if there's one thing he's taught me, you know, his legacy is connection. When he passed away, there were people, he passed away 2 years ago, and there were people at his memorial that he took care of in 1965. You know, it's just such a testament to who he was. And he taught us all that. So I love the connection. I really love getting to know people, who they are, what lights them up, and how can I help them? You know, I think we're in an interesting time. Business is, right, to say the least, right?
Oh, it's like
interesting.
well, we talk about all of these aspects: COVID, Black Lives Matter, like working on equity project, like working on multiple facets, but having that all incorporated as is all. This is all part of it. This is no part is going away. This is all
At all.
something to deal with.
Yeah, and I think even, going back to the relationship and connection, now more than ever, people want to know, what are your ethos? What do you stand for? What are your core values? Like, what do you support? Because
How do you
I want to,
truly, how do you like work with a team? Do
yeah,
you collaborate with other people? I'm seeing amazing artistic, not just like I'm seeing artistic collaborations, I'm seeing business collaborations,
totally.
I'm seeing like store, vendor, merchant, everybody, it's all mushed up now. There's
I,
no, not, the lines are not so delineated.
and it's so, it's kind of going back old school, where everybody in your neighborhood, and
More than,
that
more than
the
two.
yeah. Oh, and then the guy who comes around knocking on your door selling you things, because then he's invited into dinner and you get to know him, and people want to do business with people they know, like age old saying, right? But
Like,
it's so true. It's so true, because how many stores do you work with who are coming back to you because you reached out to them and said, here, I am here. These are the things I'm going to do for you. How can I help you? And now more than ever, we so need to help one another, because we want to. I mean, someone asked me the other day, what do you think of the retail? What do you think, what's going on? And are stores going away? Hell no, they're not going away.
selling. They have huge followings. If there's a store that has fostered that community, I'm
Yeah.
seeing be very successful with continuing to do that. And then they have a curatorial eye. It doesn't matter if it's in person or virtual. You see, it's the same that's happening with designers who've created that too. Where it may not be at 100% or 150% of sales, we're not, but we're still making sales. And I
Yeah.
think that's I it's crazy. I
It,
was talking to an attorney friend about this who was completely out of this our industry, and he was like, I can't believe you're even selling anything, because it seems like no one will be buying jewelry right now. And I'm like, I'm pretty busy.
yeah.
Enough, enough.
Well, and okay, first of all, you're in front of people, so
Yes.
staying relevant and in front is really staying connected, and
Mm-hmm.
and reaching out, so important. But also, retail therapy is real, y'all.
And art,
It's a thing.
people love, yes, to being busy. Totally. Yes, because we're providing joy. We're providing beautiful things. Art. This is art or beautiful
Yeah,
pack. Whatever you're doing, people. And also, I'm gonna say like BB bombs. I just found them, and they have like people need to treat themselves like good, like spa things. You need to feel good. You need to put your hair up, put a little lipstick on once in a while. Even though we're inside, I'm not saying you need to be crazy, but you need to take care of yourself. That it's inside and outside mix up, and people are
yes,
doing fitness things too. I think it's all connected.
and why not do it with friends, even if they're not physically there? And
Yes.
just to let you know, I did wash my hair for you. That's a big deal.
No, no. Hello, me too. Still, it's very COVID hair, but I think about presentation too, and I really love when I work with customers. I really miss the in person. I did a
Yeah.
ton of, you can tell I miss that. But I loved getting dressed up and wearing beautiful outfits from other makers that I connected with over all those years. I loved highlighting those clothes and putting it all together, and I still want to be able to do that and show people how to do that as well. To
Absolutely.
bring everybody along this journey.
If you're out for yourself, it is a lonely, short road. When you have people with you, it's just beautiful and it grows. And one of my favorite all-time commercials is way back in the 70s, and it's the shampoo commercial. And the woman's, I think it's Heather Locklear, she's washing her hair and she's like, I love this shampoo. And I told 2 friends and they told 2 friends and they told 2 friends. And that's how it works, y'all. As simple as that, right?
That's what going viral really means.
Yeah.
It goes faster though. So now we're trying to start tapping into that energy. People that have done more in person. So in stores, people like me, like designers like me that have done more retail shows or in-person retail. So translating that has been a huge pivot, honestly. And I think, what have you seen? Because I know you also working with people kind of behind the scenes and fostering their business growth. And you've been doing some new things with COVID as well to help reach out.
I have. You know, one of the things I'm a big believer that great givers are great getters. And one of the something I did, which I really believe that gratitude is one of those things that can manifest and grow, and kindness is important. So I have a call 3 days a week that is purely connection. I call it coffee, cussing, and connection. And everyone is welcome. It doesn't matter what business you're in, but we come together. It's 9:30 a.m. Central Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's for an hour and a half. And everybody comes on, shares, you know, who they are, what their business is, where they're from, and something they're grateful for, something that, like a win that they've had, or something that is fun or funny. Because I want it to be light. I wanted to focus on good, because as we know, the more, it's like, if you focus on good, more good comes, right? And that's what we want. So I think if it's all about here, right? How important it is. Mindset is so key. And what's been wonderful in these calls that other designers are connecting with each other. I've had stores on who have connected with the designers. I've had, you know, other industry, you know, people from different industries on who are sharing what's happening with them, and people are getting ideas, and there's collaborations, and it's just amazing and wonderful. So that's one thing I'm doing. I've also put together some talks for stores, because my background, I've
Yes,
been
please. Tell me everybody a little bit about that, because you have a very extensive background and you know how to, like, you know both sides.
I do. I've been in all parts of the business. My mom had a store when I was growing up, so I am really familiar with retail. I've worked in stores, and then I've worked for Gap in both stores and then in corporate, and I've worked for Williams-Sonoma, and
I want to talk about Gap. I'm going to put a pin in that because I'm going to bring that up later.
Okay.
Gap is fascinating right now.
And well, I lived in the Bay Area most of my adult life, and now I'm going back and forth. Yeah, that's what we have that in common too. Yeah. And I've also, you know, I started the customer relations department for the Old Navy division of Gap. I worked for Gap twice. So I worked for them in 91, and I went back and worked for them in, 1998. So completely different job. And it was really exciting.
Interesting. But I had kind of like the height for them, a big.
Oh my God. It was only Navy.
Yeah, they really.
And I used to, oh my gosh, I learned, you know, so much great information. And when I was at Williams-Sonoma, I did all the openings, closings, remodels, and relocations of all of their retail concepts for Williams-Sonoma. So I'm very comfortable with opening stores and closing. I've actually helped some stores close their doors and kind of transition to what they want to do next. And I've helped.
Also, it's not I want to just put out there, like, stuff like that happening is not a failure. It's just another pivot.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I recently helped a designer who was ready to change. She went into politics, actually. She decided she wanted to close her business and really move into politics. She's very, very passionate about what's happening. And I was like,
for real, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And this was just last year. And
no, I know who this is, yeah.
And I was like, let me help you. So what was great is we did it really thoughtfully. She felt good. She wasn't overwhelmed. And that's my biggest thing, is helping store owners, business owners, designers, where they're not overwhelmed, because it's not so simple and there are lots of hats to wear. So my thing is, like, make it so you're saying. And so I worked for all those big box retailers. I fell in love with handmade product and ended up in handmade product starting in 2001 and started going to New York Now.
Oh my.
2001, so almost 20 years of just that show. And
That's that's like the show.
That was it.
And you do work for them too sometimes.
I do some work for them. I've talked to JCK. I also co-founded Flourish and Thrive Academy. Oh my gosh, 8 years ago. It's just, I feel so lucky to be able to just help so many people. That's really what lights me up so much. But I want to share what I know. And one of the things that I love to do is see what other companies are doing, because we learn so much from other businesses and how they're doing things. And I feel like it's kind of untapped a lot of times. I think designers tend to stay with their posse, and it's really good to
you can keep those comments coming. Those are great.
Thank you, Brandy. Love you, girl. But I really feel like, we learn so much from others, and it's not just about our business and how it just, I'm always looking at what's out there. So I think we can always do that. And it's so important to have the conversations. And I'm a big believer in networking, just connection with people. And and that's one of the reasons I started my morning calls, because we need to be connecting with people all over.
Even normal.
Yeah. And we're not able to do that.
We should have been doing this already.
Totally.
That's when it comes down to it, everything that we're doing now, we should have been doing already. This accelerated what we should have been doing. Our world is changing, and we're way more interconnected and global than ever before. And
it's pretty effing awesome that we can be on a call with somebody in a completely different country, and have an amazing conversation. It's just we're so lucky that we have that, and there's so much we can do, We have
so much awesome technology that we didn't have before. I think it's time to learn more, learn. We cannot stop learning. We got to keep pushing the envelope, as in many ways as designers, I think, and stores and retail. It's all changing so fast. And I have to say, a lot of the fashion industry is really entrenched, and a lot of the jewelry industry as well. And things are changing. And I think that's really where I'm trying to pay attention and listen.
It's been, I was speaking with somebody earlier who she does incubators and fashion and accessory incubators. It was super cool. And we were talking about last August, I did a special tour for store owners to check out experiential and educational stores in New York City. So it was already really happening. And it's really exciting to see that. And we will get back to that once the pandemic is over. But I love seeing, I'm in a couple examples. There's a store called Camp. Love super cool.
Love Camp, because one of the founders, their mom has my jewelry.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
We met at Grand Central because it's all New York related. It's all interconnected, honestly.
Totally.
So I started following Camp because of that. I noticed, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like Story also. That you've looked at Story as well, which then got bought by Macy's, and they've kind of, I don't know what's happening with Macy's.
Well, here's Macy's. Totally cool. So Story was on was on the tour. They do a great job. We went to 34th Street. The story there was amazing. The manager was off the hook. She was so knowledgeable and amazing.
They don't have that usually at Macy's. That's that customer service aspect of knowledge, and then bringing the actual story. to the pieces, like because they launched Iris Apfel's collection as well.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, because I knew about that because of for many other reasons, but I really love that because she does such one of a kind pieces in her collection. They're not production things. They're very one of a kind. So for them to do that in a major department store is
They're
difficult.
they're starting to really listen. And one of the things they just opened a store called Market by Macy's.
Ooh, okay.
And it is the only location so far is in South Lake, which is here in a suburb of Dallas. So I've actually been, and it was fantastic. And I took my mom, who worked at Stanley Korshak for 13 years, and
love
she had
Korshak so much.
Isn't it great? It's a great store. And then we took also Mary Bloom, who is a museum buyer. You probably know Mary. Mm-hmm. She and my mom are really good friends, and so we all went out to see Market by Macy's. It was phenomenally done, so impressive, and it's changing. Like, that is how people want to shop. It's more community. A lot of the products there were made in Texas, local artists. So what they have a mixture.
What's this? How is this different from Story then? Is it a trend? Is it a completely different model or something similar? Okay.
It's different. There's a cafe. So they have like some kitchenware and some food things. And then they had a little plant section, and they had athletic section. They had a little men's section. They had women's clothing. And then they had also health and wellness, like hair and makeup, but very small curated collection. So when you walk in, not everybody's going to buy that same dress. Like, it made it really special. And jewelry was kind of all over, and they had these little vignettes that were really well merchandised. And don't fall over, but there were people greeting us at every corner.
People, like, because you know what that to me replicates in some ways is like an Artists and Fleas model, or like some of those things that are happening, those pop-ups of more handmade small businesses that are coming together as a collective on Broadway and Soho. A lot of that taken over.
Definitely like a collective. And also they had on one wall a calendar for that month. And they had showed like different events they had in, and they were highlighting, different designers and artists and
coffee shop, like from the 90s.
It was so awesome. And I was like, is this Macy's? Oh my God. Macy's
has not been great.
No, but I think it's changing. And at least they have, there's an ear somewhere, that's paying attention.
Yeah.
And I do think, department stores are, I would say, with the exception of probably Nordstrom, department stores are going to really have a hard time and maybe not be around.
I'm listening to Siemens and Bergdorf's. I mean, we're looking at multiple bankruptcy things, which are basically to address debt, not necessarily to go out of business. So they'll still be here, but maybe in different ways. It's not going to be like Barney's or opening ceremony or.
Yeah.
Others have closed so recently? A lot. There's been a lot.
There's been a lot, but there's also, there are stores opening.
Yeah. Oh, no, totally. With new concepts.
Mm-hmm.
That are doing well. It's just going to be hard. What do you think about existing stores going forward and blending the virtual with the more in-person as we start to open up again? But then also new stores or pop-ups. I'm seeing the potential for big brands to scale down their retail and then do more short pop-ups in different locations to kind of test change things up, honestly.
Yeah, well, to address the pop-up, there's a store called Neighborhood Goods.
Yes, I've been looking at them. Totally. Okay.
And Neighborhood Goods, also from Texas, from Plano, Texas.
That's what it is. Okay, they're from Texas. Okay, Plano has, I don't know anything about Plano. I just know like Marfa is like another weird.
Yeah, and Marfa is like 6 hours away from Dallas. Plano is like half an hour from me. So Neighborhood Goods, similar concept to kind of ABC, where there's different stores within it, but they're little pop-ups, and they're committed for a certain time frame. But they do have bigger brands. There was Rossi's was there when I was there. They had a local Rob Wilson, who's an amazing artist, has his artwork around there. They kind of rotate it. You have to apply. There's a commitment, but they also have a cafe because it's all about community, right? So all these places are realizing, like even Camp, the store Camp has a little like soda shop, ice cream place within the store. So smart. Food and drink, right? Keep them there.
Yeah, keep people there. I literally think, okay, this for me harkens back to the 90s and going to Borders and like, like not, they kept you there at a bookstore, which you would eat. There's no reason to be at the bookstore that long.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
This I did not know. Yes.
What?
I am not. Well, I just see pictures of Marfa and I'm like, this is a very strange phenomenon.
It is. And there's not much else in Marfa. If you go,
yeah.
you'll be done shortly.
And everybody's photographed at the Prada store. I'm like, okay.
Right. It's cool, but yeah. So I am seeing, like Neighborhood Goods and Camp and, all these innovative stores that are doing some sort of like definitely Neighborhood Goods, internal kind of pop-ups or limited time frames for certain
which is
products.
Story, because Story would do a monthly rotation and a call, kind of similar to what Bendel's would do. Bendel's used to have like an open sea, or you could go and show your work and then potentially have a trunk show, and Story did something similar. I think Camp does that because they're multi, they have many things happening at Camp.
Yeah, and activities.
Mm-hmm.
Come in, have your kids do an activity, you get to go do something else, hey.
Brilliant.
Totally so brilliant. I mean, I always joke every time I go to the Apple store, I was like, where's your coffee cart? You guys would make a mint. So,
Brilliant. Yes. The coffee thing, we're regressing and we're going forward at the same time. We're going more local, more and more local pickup is huge now. Like that, I don't think is going to ever go away.
Curbside pickup is where it's at. The store needs to offer curbside, hands down, no matter what. And, it's really pressing designers and stores to look at, like, what can I do for my customer? How can I help? Maybe it's delivery within a certain radius, free delivery within a certain radius. Like, how can you go above and beyond? I've been talking to stores about I have stores that are doing appointment only now. And, a customer has to wear a mask and everything. I said, well, do some research, ask questions. What are they, if it's a jewelry store, what metals do they like? What stones do they like? Have they shopped there before? And in a tray, have already some pieces you picked out for them with a little handwritten note, welcome, with a bottle of, maybe a glass of water, or a bottle of water, like their own little hand sanitizer. Like, what are you doing to make it special?
Yeah. Like food, drink, make them safe, all safe.
Yes, all safe.
But I really think you're right about the curation of items and doing a little bit of research beforehand. I've been doing virtual appointments, and that has been really key. So I can actually prepare. If I don't have pieces in stock, I know I need to prepare those pieces beforehand. And I don't feel I'm missing opportunities because I feel like I do much better sales when I'm prepared.
Absolutely. And go in with a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I have a store that says they're mostly jewelry, and I say, well, what's your average sale online? Their average sale is like $150, and I was like, okay, well, what is your goal when somebody comes in? And they were like, we're going to start it at $200 minimum, and they've been passing that up. So I'm like, okay, we got to move that up. And the reason being is that when you are meeting face to face, the opportunity to get product in somebody's hands and try it on, And I'm not a pushy salesperson at all, but I think it's a really great opportunity. And also talk to them. Like, do you have birthdays coming up? Any special occasions coming up that you need gifts for? Like, get to know. Could not be a better time to get to know your customers.
Yeah. And I feel like it's really important to take time to do that. I've connected with people that I didn't have the time for, or I thought I didn't have the time. And shame on me. I did have the time. And I think it's created a much stronger community and I feel better in some ways because it doesn't feel so faceless and massless. I like the connection and knowing where people, and then I think also customization. I think offering customization or being flexible is another opportunity right now.
Absolutely. And you can make it, there's customization and personalization. Mm-hmm. So it could be the same, it could be a style that you do in a ring, but you're offering different stones, right? You know, so, but letting people know that and is so important. Don't hold back on what you're able to do. And here's the deal. We're all working harder than we've ever worked before. I mean, right?
Whoa, yeah, understatement. Because as small businesses, we're handling regulatory things from the government. We're handling safety of ourselves, our employees, our customers, whatever. Because we're making physical objects, and I've had customers be like, "I'm worried about this traveling from New York to you," and I had to think about that, even in a virtual way, how to address that. New problems.
New problems, but you know, and knowing too this will pass, but what can we do? How can we take the most of the positive out of this? You know, and connection, like getting to know not only your vendors better, and even like, have you called your you know, your vendors that supply you with your
That's a good one.
You know, your tools and your metals and your stones, just to be like, how are you? What's going on? How can I help you guys? What, you know, would love to share, you know, as business slowed down, would love to share, you know, you guys with some of my friends. Like, we're all in this together.
I love that. That is I hadn't even thought about that, but I think you're right, connecting with suppliers in ways, because we do have the time. And there's something also about learning more about your suppliers, their companies, how they work, how they treat their employees. That's something that also be aware of, and then also to pass on maybe to your customers as part of your
yeah, absolutely, hands down. I mean, there's so much,
and we have time for research that we never had time before.
Absolutely. I mean, and you know, just having a conversation, it was so fun. I've had more. This happened to me kind of early on in March, that I had somebody reach out to me and say, "Hey, I've always wanted to talk to you, and you've been on my radar, and I've known about you, but I hadn't, you know, just life got in the way." And she reached out to me. We had the most amazing conversation, and now, you know, it turns out that we're connected in many different ways, and she's in the industry as well, and that's what it's about. And what's exciting is that she said she is calling somebody she doesn't know but has always wanted to meet every week, and reaching out to, you know, new people. I was like, I'm going to steal that. That is great.
I love that. Okay, that I have not put that into practice as like a thing, but I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm doing that. Really, yeah.
And in fact, it was fun because you and I were talking, and we were talking about We Wield the Hammer.
Yes.
Karen Smith.
Yeah.
And, you know, a designer told me about her, and then I told you about her, and then I connected you. It's been awesome, like connection.
We need that. And I ended up talking to Karen for hours and learned so much about her as an artist, her organization, which I want to tell everybody, everyone should follow that.
Yes.
Everyone should follow at We Wield the Hammer, because everyone needs to know about it. They are in the Bay Area. We don't have a lot of resources in the Bay Area for metal stuff. Metal smithing and schools are losing ground.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that we want to have some of that continue there. There's a long history of art and metalsmithing specifically in the San Francisco Bay Area because of the old goldsmithing and art jewelry. I was really excited to connect with her because that's where I actually learned everything that I know.
And that's a lot of info right there.
Sure. Well, honestly, still learning, but I learned a lot of like really good foundational basics in metalsmithing, and I feel so fortunate to have had that experience with such loving and wonderful teachers that I'm excited to have her kind of carry this on when I'm seeing it be more and more diminished.
I couldn't agree more. And it's one thing to give money, which money is great. If that's all you can give, I'm for it.
No one says no to money. Money is great.
Money is great.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Connecting, like really, how can you help people? And I know for me, like part of it is I want to help people. What are you struggling with? What are some things that we can all grow from in this? And so one of the things too that I'm doing with the designers in the stores that I'm working with is looking at their business as a whole. Because as you know, being a business owner, you've got to step back to see where there may be holes and opportunities.
And we never do that. Okay.
Never.
Over and over again, take a step back. I just did that Goldman Sachs program, which is like, I would also highly recommend that through 10,000. And part of that was, the whole thing was take a step back, don't work in the business, work on the business. And I think this is another moment to kind of set yourself up for the future.
Hands down. And it's all about planning it out. And I know that sounds so geeky and unspontaneous and unfun, but here's the deal. You can always adjust it. Yeah. But if you don't have a plan, I always think about years ago, I was at this conference and every person broke a block of wood with their hands. And I've never done any sort of.
That seems so frightening.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And, like literally chopped the wood in half. And I had never done anything like that. And it was so interesting because they said when you're doing it, you have to look beyond. You can't look at the wood. You have to look beyond because where your follow through is. And I was like, that's life. That is, if you want to get ahead in business, it's not look what's here. It's look what's there. And your follow through into it and moving and directing yourself to where you want to be. And I love that. And, you can do it. If I can break a piece of wood with my hands, anybody can. And it's powerful. And it's not, when you have plans in place, it doesn't mean that you can't change things, because things are going to change. Pandemic may happen, right?
Honestly, I had a whole plan that I wrote in February, you guys. And I was like, okay, cool. Redraft, but also a lot of what I wrote and what I was thinking about was has been accelerated and was completely relevant. And I'm glad I put that work in because I felt more and more prepared. I really felt prepared. Even though I wasn't prepared, I still felt, I pretended. I had more of at least some groundwork there to do more virtual things I had already started thinking about my website more seriously.
And one of the heartbreaking things for me is that when I talk to a store or a designer and they're like stuck, like have not done one thing and haven't moved their business at all. And they're like, well, I don't have a website. I'm going to just wait till we reopen. And I was like, okay, let's get some help. Let's get you a website. And I even had, oh my gosh, I was doing a talk for some stores, and one of the stores said, you know what? I tried curbside pickup and it didn't work for me. And I was like, well, what did you do? And she said, well, we were there Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4, and we had curbside. I was like, well, first of all, make it work for you. Do 2 days a week. Say we're here from 10 to 3 on Tuesday and Thursday. And she goes, well, people were buying like $5 items. I was like, make it a minimum of $50. Like, you have to trial and error, you know?
Change, adapt. We need to adapt. Like, this isn't working. Okay. Do this, do this, do that. Like, that's a really, you're making good points. And also maybe adjust hours. Maybe people are working. People are still at jobs and have regular hours, even though they're not physically going to work. So maybe you need to think about Saturdays.
Totally. Like, just, this is, this is such an amazing time to do some testing of things and try it. And if it doesn't work, try something else. And here's the deal. We are human. And it's okay to be human. I mean, look at us. We're on here. And let me tell you, I am not, I mean, you got to get out of your own way. You just got to show up, and
people are frightened of video. And I was like, do you think I'm frightened? I'm frightened of video too, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to put myself out there because I don't have any other choice. I don't see, this is important. This is important. You have to practice.
Absolutely.
Practice. What other things have you seen in terms of, like, what other things have you seen people have been doing or grappling with retail and adapting?
Well, what I've loved seeing is that some of the innovation of, there's a store called Material Possessions, and they were shipping out things. Each order got a mask that came with it, So I do believe that you guys, masks aren't going away. This is something we're going to be wearing. I mean, in a lot of countries, you wear a mask when you're out and about. It's not going away. And why not make it fun? It's a new accessory, right? I even know some jewelry designers who are making masks and making fabulous masks.
I'm making mask chains.
Oh, I love it.
You connect, and then when you're like, you can put it here when you're out with nobody around you. I mean, literally nobody around you, you guys. Then you can take it down. But also it's cute, like a sunglasses chain.
Love it.
It's like and I'm like, okay, how can I make a cute accessory thing? Cool. And then I'm making an adaptive thing that makes all of my jewelry into a mask chain. I just something for that. Because
that is so cool.
If you already have one of my pieces, a cute necklace, why not make it fashion? Or like
current.
Yes, functional.
Totally.
I'm really encouraging people to wear the mask. I'm like gonna find a bunch of cute ones and start modeling them.
I'm with you, sister. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have seen, oh my gosh, I got the cutest email today from Chris Nations, which is a jewelry line. And they're like,
Bay Area.
Yeah, Bay Area. They're like, earrings that are perfect for wearing with masks. Brilliant, right?
And like cute pictures to support this. Not crazy, like she took them like casual, because we're kind of we're giving up on having perfectly done photos too, right? You have to kind of take it on yourself now. There's not like we can hire models.
Right.
Let's have a humongous budget and everyone can social distance at the photo. I don't know. I
think, as I said, this is a great time to get to know your customers. There's, do surveys, ask them what they love, call them. Don't be afraid of the phone. If somebody isn't going to pick up the phone, that's great, but you shouldn't just email. You should email, you should call. Postcards, I still love, a handwritten note. And I'm not, as I said earlier, I was director of sales for a company, but I don't consider myself a salesperson. I consider myself a relationship person. Write a handwritten note and just say, thinking of you. I hope you guys are safe and well. I look forward to seeing you at the next, event. Know I'm here if I can, help you with anything. Sometimes it's just letting somebody know that you're there, or complimenting them. I saw you guys did a new website. It looks amazing. I wanted to drop you a note and let you know how fantastic it is. Who wouldn't want to get that? Yeah.
Everyone, I've received those because people have more time recently. And those have been really wonderful, like entrees to talking more, or just sometimes I think it's not, you're right. It's not all about sales. It's just talking more about how can you guys work together? Are there, or just share information about things that have worked for you or not work for you, not even necessarily to work together, but just to just kind of form more relationships. I agree, more relationships.
Warm relationships. And if you're not involved locally with your Chamber of Commerce, get involved. You know, Chamber of Commerce is great. If you are, your local bakery, get involved, to ask them how you can promote them. Maybe they can promote you. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, it's great when we can all share. And I really like looking and helping businesses think outside the box. What can you be doing? How can you be addressing something and really have a more brand strategy? Because honestly, if you're just doing one thing now, it's not going to serve your business. You need to do
even before there was no way you could just do one thing. We've been talking about this for a long time, multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Retail, wholesale, direct to consumer, pop-ups, all of these have been really important, but now we're adding some more categories.
Absolutely. And get creative. Like, this is a great time to have conversations about that too. Like, could I be contacting a law firm, or could I be contacting, where can you contact? And also, let's not forget how important it is to give back. And maybe there's the World Kitchen, there's, Black Lives Matter. Like, what are those nonprofits that are important to you? What are some local nonprofits you can support? I can honestly tell you, stores are going to be looking for vendors. They're in, alignment with what are they doing. I just feel that knowing what your core values are, what you stand for, what you want to support. If you're in this business and you're not giving of your time or helping something financially, like, what are you doing? We all need to be giving back in one capacity or another, because that's how we all get better.
Mm-hmm. We have our community is much stronger too. If we're more diverse, I think we're more representative of actually what's happening in the United States, and it's just better. I am speechless because I have talked about this ad nauseum to so many people, but I'm really, really passionate about making sure that we look like our retail looks like what's happening in our friend groups too.
I couldn't agree more. And people are more aware of it than ever, y'all. It's definitely something people are paying attention. And the other thing that I think is really important, we're all human. So I call it humanizing, being real, talking about maybe some uncomfortable things, or giving history about, if you're a 10-year-old company, if you're a 5-year-old, what's your story? How did you get to be where you are? If you, I have a designer I'm working with who was a hospital administrator for years, and she has been doing her business for 2 years, and she is really wanting, she's doing a lot of support for nurses that are out there, and she's got a lot of friends on the front line, in hospitals. And we talk about that a lot. Like, how can you support, and how can you,
blend your values with what you're doing in your business. And that's super important. And I feel like this has given me a lot of freedom to blend everything together. I'm like, I don't care. I want this all to be, it's me. It's more and more me. Thank you so much for coming. I think it's becoming more and more authentic, showing your story, explaining your pieces, and how that relates to everything. The micro to macro.
Absolutely. One of the things that we were talking about, like, how our stores or designers, what kind of interesting, inventive things are they doing? I love, as I mentioned before, Homage in Pasadena, Jill Pearson, who's near and dear to my heart. One of the things that she has done is that her store has really good windows, and she's made she has literally taken window shopping to another level. So they're merchandising, so everything's facing, and now the store is, I think, open for a little bit, but you can even just call them or text them and say, oh, I want that. And there's somebody in the store who can help you while you're standing outside and looking at windows.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause she had my sister lived down the street from there. I know that.
Oh,
10 years. My sister went to art center. I know exactly where it is. But she has a corner, so she has really good frontage, and it's kind of a blend of Housing Works does this, where they would have like beautiful pieces that they would auction off as a fundraiser for their monthly for their whole organization, and they would use window shopping and display as a way to get people excited. And I think that's really inventive right now. Like,
merchandising is so important, y'all. And
still,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there it and also too, like this is a great opportunity. Look on Pinterest, look on Instagram. What is catching your attention? Because you can replicate that in whatever, think about how you can merchandise your product with what you're seeing out there. I think that's really fun to do. I love merchandising. I love seeing how people putting displays up, what's grabbing my attention. But this is test things. I mean, I can't encourage you all enough. Do some testing of all sorts of things.
and if you say, okay, we are like running out of time because we're chatty.
Okay.
Okay, but I want to just point out really quick how I'm gonna post how they can get in touch with you. But I'm
Awesome.
also like, if there's any, have you seen any really cool collaborations between designers and stores doing virtual events together?
Yeah, there's a store in St. Simon's, Georgia. My friend Sissy has a store.
Yes.
It's called Saltwater. And what she's done is she does a meet the maker. And it doesn't matter if you're in her store, if she's already buying from you, she will host you. And she's done it with jewelry. I think she's done some clothing. And she will post you, she'll post your jewelry on your website, or she'll direct people to your website. Like, it is about giving back. It gives her content and it gives you exposure. And it's like a total win-win.
Really?
But I think, yeah, you've got to think outside the box of,
She put the time in to do. I have to say, because I've been following her because of you. I met her at her coffee 9:30 a.m. meetings, which everybody's invited to, by the way. Those are coming on Wednesday, the next one. But I loved her energy, and then I saw that IG live you guys did, and it was so cute, and I posted it because I thought, really, that kind of energy is what we need.
And I love the fact, she was talking about her experience as a buyer and having a store. And I can tell you, there's going to be somebody in a different location who's going to have a little different experience, but they're all relevant and we can all learn from them,
Yeah, and there's like, it's nice to have, like, you can take snippets and adapt it to yourself. No one's going to do the exact same thing. No one's copying. It's okay. We honestly, you can start working more and more together. And I think that's,
Yes.
you also grow your audience that way. You tap into each other's like community. You're bringing people into each other's stories. I think that's a big deal.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, think outside the box. If you have a product, maybe you have candles or maybe you have jewelry and you love ice cream, do something on ice cream. Maybe there's your favorite ice cream and you're like, hey, I would love to host you on an Instagram live because I love your flavors and I want to learn more about you. Sometimes we need to just get out of our own way and be open to just trying something new.
I think it's scary, but it's worth it. I've been working hard to do that.
You've been rocking it, girl. I'm rocking it.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be me. We have 1 minute. Do you have any words of wisdom before we leave? Thank you. Honestly, and I gotta say thank you so much. The time flew by so quick.
So fast. Oh my gosh. I told my sister, I'm on for 15 minutes. Come on.
I'm like, we're gonna make you talk the whole time.
I love it. I could talk to you forever, girl. And I think, I just want everyone to walk away and know that things are tough right now, but people are buying. Things are know that. And also too, I've come across some designers who are like, I'm doing really well and I feel a little guilty about that. I was like, don't feel guilty, because every time you're doing well, you're affecting somebody else's life. You're affecting the person who bought it, but also where you're getting your materials from, yes. Everything. So it's you know, we're all affecting one another. So just keep that in mind. Go out, try things. If you guys have any question, you're welcome to contact me. I'm Robin at Red Boot Consulting.
Generous, you guys. I'll post that. And we'll take that off in 1 second. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Robin.